right, athletes. So I just woke up, had a great rest, got some good sleep, but I did see a comment from somebody who was saying that they were getting a lot of opinions about sleep and that they had been working and still doing burpees. I guess really rest, like our big four, hydration, nutrition, exercise, and rest. I can't say that one is more important than the others. And sometimes it's like one will take the lead after the others have been satisfied. So once you've gotten your hydration, once you've gotten that nutrition, once you've gotten that exercise, rest now becomes the top thing you need to seek. And then and also while you're resting, we're talking about recovery. So that can go back to more hydration, more nutrition. So you can go back and exercise. But here's the thing when we're talking about the balance between exercising and labor, like a job, your body doesn't know the difference between being at a gym or being at like a construction site. It doesn't know those differences. All it knows is we're asking it to put itself through rigors, through stressors, and it needs to recover from those. So a lot of times when people feel like, well, I worked, but I didn't work out. No, you've still worked out your body. If you're doing things laboriously, repetitiously for hours, then that is the workout. Now, I understand it may not give us the same muscle building that we want, but you have to have a very specific balance. Each one of us is going to have a specific balance. Some of us are going to be able to do more exercise because our job is more sedentary and it's going to require, like, we need to make that up. But you ever see, like, a lot of construction workers, laborers, and things like that? They've got a strength that's just different because of always handling heavy items, bricks, or moving things. And there also is a higher risk of injury because of that. So everybody's is going to have this delicate balance as to what rest looks like. But rest is absolutely getting necessary sleep, as in good sleep. So I've talked about this before, making sure that you have got a proper pillow, that your mattress isn't worn out either. Those are silent things that will affect how well you rest and recover from things because we don't really pay attention to it. And before you know it, it can be a year, 2 years, things like that. And maybe your mattress does last, but maybe not. It also depends on your activity. Depends on a lot of factors. So we want to make sure that we are looking at these things, specific to us, and say, okay, this is me, and this is how much activity that I have. So, same thing with shoes. Breaking down shoes while you are on the job site or while you are exercising. Those things too can curb that. So we want to make sure that we understand that rest is a recovery process. So are you stretching on your days off? Are you stretching before you go into work or before you go to the workout? Are you warming up the body? Are you using sports rubs if you need them? Are you using anything that's going to help take inflammation away? How are you eating? There's the nutrition, hydration, keep the muscles lubricated, keep the joints lubricated by the foods. So all of these things play a part when we're talking about rest. Rest is not just sleep. Rest is your recovery process. Are you going for massage every once in a while? Are you going to get a pedicure? A pedicure doesn't just mean get your nails painted and glossed over or whatever. That means that they are doing foot massage. Do you have a reflexology person in your area that you can go and check out? Or just like a massage person that you can go check out, acupuncture if you need it. So plenty of ways, guys. Is there just a sauna I don't know, if you don't have a gym membership, do you have somebody that can take you and you can just get a good steam? But again, the world is a gym, so be careful going into gyms because, again, it's still a place with a lot of germs, especially someplace like a sauna. But you see my point. Are you taking cold showers? Do you have the ability to ice plunge, ice bathe? A lot of those things are going to help us. A lot of those things. Same way you have a bunch of over-the-counter medicines. Most people have a bunch of over-the-counter medicines sitting in their cabinet somewhere in their home in a cabinet that is just waiting for a cold to come on. You've got something that's going to help you hopefully rest and recover from it. We need the same thing for the everyday. For every day, we need that same ability to have something that's going to help us rest and recover from the rigors that we put through it. It's also mind, body, and soul, not just the physical. How are you coming down from that day as well? How are you coming down from that workout as well? Sometimes the workout is good because I find that the good endorphins get flowing and you feel good for having done it, and then you're kind of at a tranquil state. But did you have a stressful day at work? Are you able to, and you've not able to exercise as a result to kind of work that off? How are we going through that? So mind, body, and soul still applies to how we rest as well. We need to rest those areas as well, so we are fully charged and can perform again, and perform again sharply, cognitively, physically, and just genuinely. I think that those three things are important. So um, you guys are going to have to look very closely. Same way you would look very closely at, say, your diet. Well, each of us are going to be different based off of our genetics, based off of our past, our history, all these things, what our goals are. All those things are going to be different. And so it's going to play a different part in what we need to do. Same thing with the rest. Rest is vital. Rest is vital. And I believe to be what is known as fully functional, you need to have 3 days in a row of 8 hours, at least 8 hours of sleep. And a lot of us don't get that. It is what it is for whatever reason, whether it's schedule, whether it's just what you're used to, whatever it is. A lot of us don't get that, and to that I say, get the rest that you need. Get as much rest as you can. But I understand that life doesn't always give us the ability to say 8 hours is just bestowed upon you. But where you can, get that rest. That means turning off that TV sooner, setting your phone down a lot sooner. When you think you're getting ready for bed, set that phone down an hour ahead of time. That way, those blue lights and all the things that are coming off of the screens aren't keeping our brain active. Put on some sleep music. Guys, there's a ton of sleep music on YouTube. Put on that smooth jazz, whatever it is. Music without lyrics, I find works best. That way, your brain isn't trying to track what is being said. Everything is just allowing it. You're just slowly pulling that shade down. Take that nice hot shower, relax those muscles, whatever it is. Get your partner to rub your back, or like I said, there's massage places, all sorts of things to keep us just feeling better. And a nice stretch routine is also going to be part of that as well. You can put the stretch into the exercise category, but I also put it into the rest and recovery as well. So plenty of ways, guys, but it is important. But it is important to measure and really look at, what do I do on a daily basis? If I'm walking, we've got some people that walk to work 7 miles a day, as it comes to mind. That's a lot of walking. So the body is getting plenty of exercise where that's concerned. So you wouldn't need to get off work and then go jog for another 6 miles. Not unless you really have a goal to start being a runner. Okay. Now, with that, you could do with the walking, you could certainly do like push ups. You could do some other things, some squats, whatever. But each person is going to have to really assess their specific life and look at, what does rest mean to me? What do all of them? What is hydration, nutrition, exercise, and rest? Because the person who works in an air conditioned office still needs water and needs to be hydrated, but they're going to need less water than the guy who's outside roofing in any element and sweating because he's performing more physically up and down a ladder or things like that. So each person has to look very closely at theirs. I'm always open to take a question as to my opinion. I'm not a professional at any of this, but I've been in laborious jobs. I've been in office jobs. I know how that works. I've been in jobs where, okay, yeah, I need a little bit more rest because I am beat down today from what I had to do in a laborious sense, and so I'm not going to exercise today. Guys, if you see people on YouTube or even this channel saying we did it, day after day after day, that doesn't mean it's for everybody. There was a time I couldn't do this day after day after day because my schedule and the other rigors of life wouldn't allow it, and it wouldn't have been smart to do it. So really think of this in that capacity. That, comparison is the thief of joy. If you are doing amazing things on your schedule, then keep doing amazing things on your schedule. Don't compare it to somebody else's. Um, and when we look at the rest and the performance, think of your car or a vehicle. That vehicle, if you drive it 1,000 miles this way or 1,000 miles that way. It's still been driven 1,000 miles. So at some point, it has to fuel, right? It has to get back to, like, you have to be able to fuel it. And a lot of times you're going to not like try to blow out its engine. At some point, it's going to need new motor oil, things like that. Those are forms of rest and recovery for a mechanical entity. But for our muscular, for our physical, we need it sooner and we need it more frequently. Why? Because we are the true vehicle. That's an automobile. This is your truest vehicle, yourself. So make sure that we're keeping all this in mind. Guys, I feel like I covered a good amount here, and I'm grateful for the question. So let's keep that in mind. I will certainly try to answer more questions as I can. And if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, I will definitely do my best to address them. So please leave something here. Ace up the sleeve. Advice, comment, experience is what I'm saying. Hitting. Have you found like your balance? Did you find that you overdid it sometimes, or you weren't doing enough sometimes? So just depends, guys. But leave me something, and let's have a community talk in the chat. Let's be respectful, but let's have shared ideas, shared experiences. That's what the tribe vibe is all about. Visualize your best experience. Okay, so once the real you begins, now there's that elevation, enlightenment, engagement, entertainment. No, not entertainment. Education. I think I said that already, but you know what I'm saying. So that's what we want, guys. That's what we want here. So we'll leave it at that. But in the meantime, I hope this finds everybody in your place. Pursuit of beginnings of total health, mind, body, and soul. And like we like to say, HWPO. That means hard work pays off, and this is the Impact Athletics Association. So I'm going to leave a couple of videos and the subscription. So click those, stick around, and let's keep this thing going, guys.